All right, this is the Biztech Asian Midday Marketwatch, a discussion between host Brian Fernandez with guest Vishnu Varathan, Head of Economics and Strategy, Mizuho Bank. A conversation of insights on regional markets performance as well as talks about regional markets performances. Let's take a look.
What and you mentioned a couple of key things that we need to watch out for, but what do you see the biggest risks in the second half of the year?
But I think in the second half of the year, and I'll start with Q3, the single biggest risk is that we are underestimating and under accounting for what liquidity drain due to quantitative tightening can result in particularly in terms of much tighter funding, and at times, not being able to roll over funding needs in a timely manner because despite on paper, despite the appearances of having still sufficient dollar funding on paper, the reality is that it's very unevenly spread across banks. And insofar as banks get more cautious, this may lead inadvertently to a bit of a liquidity squeeze, which in turn can translate into to some degree of contagion and chills in the market. So that's something we want to watch out for in the third quarter. For those watching closer to home at China, they want to see whether China stimulates its economy enough, given President Xi has suggested and has stuck to his around 5.5% growth target, saying it can be reached. So we are in pretty different dimensions. And it really, the question it begs us is which bunny, who will be pulling out of which hat? After that, of course, like cats, right? We need to check the bunny for a pulse because the underlying momentum may not be maintained.